So anyway, so I started looking into colleges, and I remember I went to the British High Commission when they used to be at the corner of is it Kenya Cinema, somewhere around there. Yeah, that's people have come from Pachu. Yeah, so I went there and I looked for colleges. I pursued through their catalogs, and I found a college. I wrote to them. I sent them my certification, and they immediately accepted me. And I got an acceptance letter, and I was so excited. I was like, Mom, I'm going to London to do fashion and design. And from then on, like we always say, I was put in a plane and I landed in London. I didn't know anyone. And I went to the school dorms, and in I think a week after, we were starting school.
What school is this now?
It's called the American College in London. It's actually off Marylebone High Street in Oxford Street. And when I got into this school, I mean, being a Kenyan who's not been out just in Kenya, obviously it was a culture shock for me also. And I remember my first class was a class that we were doing draping. It was a class called draping.
What year is this, by the way?
This is now 1987.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a long time.
It is.
I always tell people some kids were born in 87 and now they're probably married.
Yep.
Yeah. and I was in college. That was my first time to go to a university. And like I said, it was a drafting class, and we were using mannequins. And I had never seen a mannequin before, and I was thinking to myself, how do you work around this human mannequin? And she gave us a task in class, and I did not want to tell the class teacher that I don't know how to use it. So I just waited for students to go to their own mannequin, and I just copied them. I was very good in my drafting, so I knew I would catch this. So after school, I went to the library and I studied about the mannequin. And then what I'll do every day after school is go back to that same mannequin and test it. Cut fabrics around it and try and understand why people are using mannequins, So I did a lot of my own research when I was away. And then it opened more doors for me, in understanding what fashion and creating fashion is all about. Yeah.
What were some of the tasks that you would be given that made you just say this is another level, different from what you had experienced here in Kenya?
Yeah, things like first illustration. I'm in a class and everybody thinks it's normal for someone to stand in front naked. I think for me that was not normal. And we're supposed to be drawing now. I'm thinking, excuse me, no leotards, nothing, just naked. So that was a shocker to me.
Were there many other Africans?
Yeah, we had a few Nigerians.
Okay.
Yeah, but I found that a lot of people came from the Arab countries, America, because it was also an American school. Yeah, few Africans.
Kenyans,
were not many.
probably
Kenya,
one or two.
I met one who had totally turned herself into a punk. So I didn't even know she was Kenyan. I was shocked. She was all dressed in black lipstick, everything all around her was just black. So I was saying, are you sure you're Kenyan? So you see all this culture shock. Yeah. So other task was like, they would tell us to make a hat using something that inspires you. And I've never made a hat before. So now what happens is that I go back to the library, understand how to make a hat, and then wonder what can inspire me to make a hat. And it was amazing. I made a hat and I was inspired by the sweet Smarties. Yeah. So I made a hat that had steps of different colors of Smarties. Yeah. Which the teachers thought, wow, what a creative girl. And I'm thinking, yeah, right. But anyway, my experience in London opened opened my mind in many, many ways, especially in the research and design department, because I always thought that when you design something, you copy something from a magazine. But they made me understand that it is in the research, and that what inspires me is where I derive everything that I can sketch or illustrate, and then it is out of that that I can make something new.
The research is what does the unlocking.
Yeah, it becomes the unlocking. And it becomes the unlocking, and also finding that there's a potential in you that you didn't even know. Yeah, and the teachers were very helpful. Yeah, but one thing they warned us was never look at magazines, because you will know exactly where you have copied from. And you will fail that class.
Okay, let me ask, since we're talking about being abroad, so what is it that made you not lose yourself? Especially, you just told us you were put on a plane. How were you able to balance? Did you have money? Like, I'm trying to understand.
How did I do it?
Yes, how did you do it?
Yeah, I think I'll say that in those days they were not harsh on foreigners in Europe. And my mom sent me school fees. She paid my school fees. But maintaining myself, I had to do extra work, which I did not mind, because I worked in places that I liked to work in. And especially even in the school library, they gave me part-time job there. And I worked in a boutique called Next. And it's still there till today. And I even pass it and I'm like, oh, well, this is where I used to work. And it also gave me ways, or it showed me how to communicate with customers, how to keep a shop, how to dress a customer, what looks nice on people, and that kind of thing. So we used to have stock take. We used to do many, many things.
It sharpened your entrepreneurial skills.
Yeah, it
without
did.
You knowing.
Without me knowing. But I enjoyed being around that whole scenario, and yeah, I think that's one of the things that I must say that I took away from being in Europe. I also did a class that was hat making class. We call it Melanly hat making, and I did that out of the money that I was making. This is when now I had finished school. I had finished college. I was waiting for my certification, so I started this course, and it was an expensive course, because all these courses are usually sometimes private. But I didn't finish. I didn't manage to finish it because it was expensive. So I decided, let me just come home. Then one season, I know in my life I'll go back.
So why did you come back home? Why did you say, let me get a job here and here and
I think it's because of the many competition that was already there with the designers there, everybody competing to be here and there. And I knew in my nation we were not anywhere near to what I'm seeing in Europe. So I just decided, instead of staying here, struggling, being here, let me go back home. Let me start it from home. Let me start something, because I'm believing and I know I will make it in this industry in my homeland, Kenya. Yeah. So I came home very confident, and until I landed, and I landed home.
What year did you come?
I came back in 1990. I think it was 91 or 2. I'm not so sure, but I think it was either one of them. And when I came back home,